Hello and welcome to WION Live broadcast from New York City. I'm Susan Tehrani. First, let's take a look at this hour's latest headlines. At least 39 migrants have died after a fire broke out at a migrant facility in the Mexican northern border city of Ciudad Juarez. Belarus says that it's hosting Russian nuclear weapons due to unprecedented Western pressure and insists that tactical development does not violate international agreements. Amnesty International slams what it calls the West's double standard in raising human rights abuses in Ukraine. It cites the West's silence on rights in Saudi Arabia and Israel's treatment of Palestinians. Two people have been killed and several wounded in a knife attack at the Ismaili Center in Portugal's Lisbon. Reports say the attacker has been shot and detained. Authorities say that it's too early to reach a conclusion on the attack, saying it may be an isolated incident. The UK raises threat level from terrorism in Northern Ireland to severe from substantial. This is ahead of an expected visit of U.S. President Joe Biden to mark the 25th anniversary of a landmark peace accord. At least 39 people were killed in a fire at a migrant detention center on the U.S.-Mexico border. The fire spread through the migrant processing center in Ciudad Juarez. About 70 people are believed to have been inside that center when the fire broke out. The facility is located near the Staten-Liardo Bridge, which links Mexico to the United States. Local media say that the building was holding migrants who had been picked up by authorities on Monday. There has been no official statement about what may have caused the blaze, but local newspapers reported that there had been disturbance inside the center just before the fire broke out. Authorities say that the late-night fire at the Office of National Migration Institute occurred after they picked up 71 migrants from the streets in the city. The victims' nationalities have not been released, but many of the victims are thought to be Venezuelans trying to make their way to the United States. The incident has once again brought to the spotlight questions of migrant detention centers and the conditions under which they operate. For more on this, we are joined by journalist and author Michael Dibert. He's joining us live from Baltimore here in the United States. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. This is such an unfortunate incident. You know, on the one hand, we talk about border security time and time again on both sides of the border. On the other hand, we really don't see the proper measures being taken, not here in the United States and definitely not in Mexico either. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, as someone who has reported from Ciudad Juarez, the term security is not really one that comes to mind when I think of the city for a lot of different reasons. Of course, I think it's relatively well known that over the years, it's been a disputed territory for different drug trafficking organizations that are bringing their product to the market in the United States. And, you know, also these kind of criminal groups prey on vulnerable people. So migrants are about as vulnerable as you can get. Just earlier this month, actually, there were migrant shelters and advocacy organizations sent an open letter complaining about the treatment of migrants and asylum seekers in the city, saying they were being harassed by the police and their various, you know, the conditions in which they were being held.
So I mean, you've been reporting for so long, and I know that you've been such a vocal advocate of more compassion. What needs to be done? On the one hand, people say that it's really the drug cartels at the end of the day and these human trafficking cartels that are benefiting from not only the insecurity that's happening, but also from this inhumane situation that's been going on for so many years. What needs to be done?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have this really draconian immigration policy. In the U.S., I mean, so in February, the U.S. created this new rule that basically prohibits migrants who have traveled through other countries on their way to the border with the U.S. and Mexico from applying for asylum in the U.S. So a lot of them are being now held in Mexico as they're trying to apply for asylum and whatnot. And, López Obrador, the president of Mexico, seems very happy to act as the jailer for the U.S., basically.
So many components to this tragedy. Thank you so much for joining us on WION, and we look forward to speaking to you again very soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Six people were killed in a mass shooting incident at a school here in the United States. The tragedy, which claimed the lives of 3 children, unfolded at the Covenant School on Monday in Nashville, Tennessee. The alleged shooter was killed by the police. This is not a one-off incident. Gun violence is a recurring problem in the United States. In our next report, we take a closer look at the Nashville incident and the greater problem of gun violence in the United States.
It's sick. It's heartbreaking. A family's worst nightmare. We have to do more to stop gun violence. It's ripping our communities apart, ripping the soul of this nation, ripping at the very soul of the nation.
Aren't you guys tired of covering this? Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them?
The Nashville police received a call of an active shooter inside a Covenant school. The suspected shooter entered the Christian school through a side entrance. The suspect then went from the first floor to the second floor, firing multiple shots on the way in a school filled with students. Police officers soon entered the school and began clearing it when they heard shots coming from the second level. A team of 5 officers arrived on the second level and zeroed in on the shooter. 2 officers engaged the suspect and fatally shot him. At 10:27 a.m., the suspected shooter was declared dead. In these 14 minutes, 6 people lost their lives. 3 9-year-old children were among the deceased. But this was not a standalone incident. Gun violence is a fixture in American life. And this menace is growing. There have been more than 130 mass shootings across the U.S. so far this year. Data shows the number of mass shootings has gone up significantly in recent years. In each of the last 3 years, there have been more than 600 mass shootings, almost 2 per day on an average. The number of people who lost their lives in these incidents is also appalling. Over 48,000 people died from gun-related injuries in the U.S. in 2021 alone. The data also shows nearly 53 people are killed each day by a firearm in the United States. While calculating the number of guns in private hands, a Swiss-based research project estimated that there were 390 million guns in circulation in the U.S. in 2018. The United States has 120.5 firearms per 100 residents. The same number from 2011 was 88 per 100. But this nowhere means that Americans are not in favor of arms control. In fact, 57% of Americans surveyed by Gallup actually want stricter gun laws. But there is a powerful lobby active in the U.S. which opposes stricter laws. The lobby also has substantial political influence, so much so that the menace continues every day, even as more and more people lose their lives. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
One of the most popular video sharing apps for the young in the U.S. is under fire after the grilling of TikTok CEO last week. The ban on the Chinese-owned app seems inevitable. Now the country is divided between the ones who are supporting the ban and creators and influencers who are opposing it. Amid several oppositions from both Democrats and Republican lawmakers, TikTok has managed to win the support of New York Democrat Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. In her first video sharing platform, she said that she opposes a nationwide ban on the app and called any such move unprecedented. Earlier, TikTok CEO battled a barrage of questions by U.S. lawmakers as they made it clear that the app is a threat to the U.S. national security. The ban on the Chinese-owned app depends on the approval of a legislation called Restrict Act, which empowers the U.S. Commerce Department to ban foreign technology that threatens national security. However, experts predict that the Biden administration needs to be more careful before passing any action against TikTok, as it will affect 150 million young Americans. Earlier, a similar effort by former President Donald Trump was struck down by a U.S. court. However, the White House has tabled a solution where it demands TikTok to sever ties with parent company ByteDance, either through a sale or a spin-off. But experts have raised questions on the move, with many saying that TikTok cannot function without ByteDance as it develops apps technology. But a ban on TikTok is not bad for everyone, as market analysts say that any action on TikTok would benefit Meta and Snapchat on Wall Street. But how is it going to place the Biden government or even Republican lawmakers among the younger voters? According to Republican Representative Dan Crenshaw, many youngsters are thinking that the panel is old and out of touch, but after a few years down the line, they will start caring about lost data. General Manoj Pandey, India's chief of army staff, claimed that China is looking to replace the U.S. as the global security provider. The army chief also spoke about China's rise as a political, technological, and military power and its position in the global world order. He made these statements while addressing the audience after inaugurating the second strategic dialogue organized by Pune University on its campus. General Manoj Pandey said brokering peace between Iran and Saudi Arabia and China's 12-point peace plan to end the conflict between Russia and Ukraine is reflective of Chinese urgency to replace the United States as a global security provider. Talking about China's rise and its implications for the world, General Pandey claimed that China's rise is driven by regional and global aspirations. He said China's rise as a political, technological, and military power has accorded it a new hierarchical position in the world order. Foreign policy experts believe the inability of the Biden administration to make a strong impact in the Ukraine war has created a power vacuum, and China is looking to fill that void and emerge as the global leader in security. Our next story is about a reunification, a family separated by the Taliban's capture of Kabul and the chaos that followed thereafter. Finally reunited thousands of kilometers away in Qatar. How did all of it play out? We will find out in our next report.
August 2021, the Taliban capture of Kabul. Many were killed, thousands displaced as the US pulled out of Afghanistan. Children separated from families became almost commonplace then. That's where the story of Mohammed and Samira Niazi begins. As they looked to escape the country in an evacuation plane, fate had it that they were killed in a blast before they could get away. Their newborn Eliza, however, got away. Switch to March 2023, nearly 19 months on. Aliza's uncle Yar Mohammed, who had been searching frantically for her, finds her in Qatar. A one-in-a-million reunion.
I am very, very happy. I am so happy that I cannot express my feelings. Now that her parents will know that Aliza is reunited with me, I can say how happy they would feel. They were waiting for this news. They were waiting to know when Aliza will be reunited with us.
It's been quite a journey for Aliza. A teenager had carried her to an American Qatari evacuation flight. On reaching Doha, Aliza was taken to an orphan care center in the city. The ministry, in coordination with the International Organization for Migration and UNICEF, reached out to find her family. Once her relatives were found, a DNA kit was sent to Kabul to confirm their relation. With the formalities and background checks complete, Aliza's two sisters, brother, uncle, aunts and cousins all came to Doha to reunite with her.
Family reunification is the main goal that we work to reach for Mariam, with coordination between Driama and Mofa. Our goal was to work on uniting her with her natural family from Afghanistan, for her to meet her siblings. We were a family at her at Driama, and we tried to give her the best care possible. We will miss Mariam, but we wish her well and all the happiness with her family.
The family will be visiting Aliza in the center for a week to get familiar with each other before starting the process of leaving the country. They are hoping to head to the United States or United Kingdom. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Controversy seems to have become Twitter's middle name. The verification blue tick is back in focus once again. From April 15th, Twitter chief Elon Musk says only verified subscribers will have the post recommended to other users, and only they can vote on Twitter polls. Musk says the move is the only way to control the powerful AI-powered bots on the site. He claims that the site is full of them, and they are constantly involved in altering opinions and free speech. This was a key reason for Musk when he was threatening to leave the $40 billion deal last year. Musk claims that this will increase the cost of using bots, hence making it easier to identify them. Basically, people with a blue verification tick mark, people who have paid to use the feature, will be more likely to have their tweets liked and retweeted. And users who don't have that prize blue tick will have a much lower chance of penetrating the stream. Twitter functions with two key algorithms, the For You stream, which Twitter also recommends for you, and the second algorithm, the tweets from people you follow. But this verified feature saga goes against the very idea Elon Musk vowed to protect, free speech. Ex-Twitter employees claim that this gives verified users the power to influence other users on anything they see fit, from misinformation to harmful propaganda, because verified users can amplify their tweets or posts. The initial launch of the subscription-based verification feature was chaotic, to say the least, as many fake accounts emerged with the blue tick. Several accounts even pretended to be Elon Musk himself. And in less than 1 week, Twitter was forced to pause that feature. Since it was relaunched, many controversial groups are now equipped with the blue tick. This includes groups like the Taliban and their well-known supporters. On the one hand, Twitter warns that it will remove the verified status of some legacy accounts from the 1st of April. On the other, Musk speaks of equality and free speech for all. Many now are asking, isn't this all about the money? In a move that indicates a major improvement in relations between World Football Governing Body and European clubs, FIFA has agreed to pay clubs all over the world an extra $146 million to release their players for the Men's World Cup. Relations between FIFA and the European Club Association have been frosty over the last couple of years. FIFA's president had first appeared to back the rebel European Super League and then had aggressively pushed for a biennial World Cup, a move that was strongly opposed by all European clubs. However, A new memorandum of understanding has been signed by the two bodies. The big takeaway from the MOU is that FIFA has agreed to significantly increase its compensation package to clubs to release players for the World Cup from $209 million for the 2018 and 2022 tournaments to $355 million in 2026 and 2030. To give you an idea of the sum received by a club for last year's World Cup in December, Premier League champions Manchester City got around $5.5 million from FIFA under the club benefits program. Under it, FIFA paid out $10,000 for each day a particular player was at the World Cup, including the week-long official preparation period beforehand. Now, that sum will be considerably higher. Such a deal will also be major financial boost for the clubs and make a European Super League less likely. A tentative plan for an expanded club World Cup featuring 32 teams has also been agreed.
For the future, memorandum of understanding between FIFA and ECA goes back many years. Important to have come to an agreement with an organization that shares the same values as FIFA, the solidarity, democratic processes, the growth of the game by keeping it open for everyone. It's important for Europe, it's important for the rest of the world.
The 10th iHeartRadio Music Award took place in Los Angeles this year. All the A-listers from the music industry attended the awards. Here's a look at some of the highlights from the ceremony. Harry Styles was named Artist of the Year, even though Styles was not present at the awards ceremony. The singer did thank his fans via a video message. The 2022 favorite, Taylor Swift, won the iHeartRadio's Innovator Award. Her viral song, Anti-Hero, was given the Song of the Year trophy. Meanwhile, BTS clinched two big awards, Best Music Video for their hit song Yet to Come, and their Fans Army were crowned the Best Fan category. The event was hosted by singer Lenny Kravitz and saw stars such as Pink, Heidi Klum, and Nicole Scherzinger in attendance. Singer Pink, who arrived with her children Willow Sage and Jameson Moon, took home the Icon Award. Thank you so much for staying with us and watching. I'm Susan Tehrani from New York. Don't go away. More news and headlines coming up next, only on WION.
There are many other